Democratic insiders are all in for Biden 2024. Notwithstanding dull endorsement appraisals and the classified documents embarrassment, Democratic power advisors are humming for additional years. President Joe Biden had one inquiry for Democratic power advisor at a campaign-type convention Friday. Would you say you are with me? The thunders of endorsement and chants of "for additional years" at the Democratic National Committee's winter meeting demonstrated they were holding nothing back for Biden 2024. Regardless of dull endorsement appraisals, a continuous classified documents embarrassment and surveys showing most citizens would like the 80-year-old to resign, Biden faces no significant resistance to his leadership of the Democratic Party and an unhampered way to renomination 1 year from now, even before he has formally proclaimed his aim to look for it. During the 3-day social affair of elected officials, activists, union leaders, agents, and donors this end of the week, serious dispute or uneasiness with Biden was beyond difficult to track down, even late night at the lodging bar, where alcohol and suppositions streamed uninhibitedly. If he has any desire to run, I figure everyone will be 100% brought together behind him. Well, perhaps 99.9999, yet we're the most bound together we've been in seemingly forever, said John Bauman, a California DNC member and president of a PAC that advances Social Security. At last, the party must move to more youthful individuals being in more control, and that is regular. However, this doesn't feel like the moment yet, said Bauman, otherwise called Bozer, from the 1950s-style rock and roll group Sha Na Na. There was no indication of more Democratic aspirants applicants taking in the background actions to challenge Biden, nor much proof of the sort of philosophical struggle that hosts severed the get-together so frequently lately. Noticeable allies of Senator Bernie Sanders, a Vermont independent, were among those cheering most intense in front of an audience close to Biden and VP Kamala Harris Friday, waving recently printed signs, showing a refreshed plan presented last year, that read "Go Joe" on one side and "Kamala" on the other. We feel extremely positive about the thing President Biden is doing and we will uphold his reappointment completely, said Judith Whitmer, an individual Democratic Socialists of America and former Sanders delegate who won a furious political race a couple of years prior to become chair of the Nevada Democratic Party. Obviously, presidents generally run their party foundation, which isn't really intelligent of typical electors. Yet, the principal indications of genuine difficulty for Biden would almost certainly come from insiders, similar to the case for previous Democratic presidents like Lyndon Johnson and Jimmy Carter who were pushed out of the White House by amicable fire. Both past presidents confronted Democratic primary threats, with Johnson selecting not to look for reappointment while Carter won redesignation yet attempted to re-solidify the party before the November general political election, which he lost. Outside the DNC meeting, a versatile billboard hired by a little progressive group encouraged Biden not to run, though the group recognized getting forward movement was battling. Its political chief, Sam Rosenthal, said he had spoken with some DNC individuals who secretly concurred with their mission yet were too threatened to openly even consider saying as much. Simply a year prior, Democratic insiders had no issue showing their uneasiness and chaos. As inflation rose and Biden's administrative plans slowed down, anticipated Democrat like California Governor Gavin Newsom and Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker appeared to be orbiting the White House like vultures. However, Biden's possibilities pivoted emphatically, because of the section of significant bills like the Inflation Reduction Act, further developing monetary news like last week's strong jobs report, and the surprisingly good consequences of the midterm political race, which Wisconsin Democratic Party Chair Ben Wickler called the verification in the pudding of Biden's political strength. Many individuals have been charmingly shocked, Georgia Democratic Representative Nikema Williams said of Biden. It helps that Biden is a person of the party. Dissimilar to previous President Barack Obama, who began his own political gathering outside the DNC and went to a couple of the DNC's half-yearly gatherings during his 8 years in office, Biden has been to each and every in-person gathering up to this point. Indeed, even DNC individuals who didn't uphold Biden in the 2020 essential utilized terms like wired, locked, and closed up to depict the White House's hold over the party, which is presently utilizing to direct the way that the 2024 essential will get down to business and where its next public show will be held. The president is perched on sufficient political capital that he felt happy with taking on New Hampshire and Iowa, booting them from the front of the presidential primary schedule in the greatest purge to the essential cycle in many years. On Saturday, the DNC approved Biden's proposition to make South Carolina first. This was not whenever the Democratic Rule Foundation first has considered whether Iowa ought to stay in the early window, and endlessly time once more, it's been shot down, said Mo Elithy, a DNC part who was engaged with the schedule rewrite. Individuals said it wasn't possible. this president made it happen. Democrats from New Hampshire and Iowa dissented, yet realized they had no desire for facing Biden. They lacked the ability to hold a question-and-answer session at the DNC meeting, and were mindful so as not to condemn Biden or recommend he just advance South Carolina since he improved there than in their states in 2020. I'm not requesting that you vote against the president, New Hampshire's Joanne Dowdell told the other 400 or more individuals from the DNC, in light of the fact that it broke my heart to cast a ballot against his proposed schedule. Thank you for watching the video to the end. Please, if you love our video, click the like button, give us a thumb up, subscribe, share and drop a comment on the video you like to see next.